Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. In today's video, I'm going to go over a character that I kind of quickly threw together using the combination of Sandstorm Visage, Marylene's Fallacy, and Trypanon. It is a Phantasmal Lightning Tendrils Raider. As you can see, I have 100% crit chance and 739% crit multi, just baseline. And I am only using Herald Device as far as offensive, and it really doesn't add much damage. Like, if I get rid of that, you can see it adds very, very little damage. So, oh, yeah, I guess oh, yeah. Yep, okay. I actually have pain attunement. But yeah, this template or this character can be used as kind of a template because honestly, there's not a lot of specific stuff to it. It's just any crit spell. You would just swap out the large clusters if you didn't want to do a lightning for whatever element you are playing or whatever spell you're playing. And then if you didn't want to play area, you would get rid of the area medium clusters. But everything else, you could play any spell skill that you'd want to play a raider on. The reason I chose raider is just a low bar of entry because you get a bunch of free avoid ailments and spell suppress right from the get-go, and also you don't really need any ways to generate frenzy charges because you just get it for free. And I also just like the onslaught and the extra little onslaught effect. So basically between the frenzy charges and the onslaught, we're getting like 49% cast speed for free when we have full frenzy charges, which happens very quick because I'm hitting extremely fast. Even before my frenzy charges, my cast time is 0.13. I think it gets right around 10 times per second. But before I go too deep into it, I'm just going to do a quick tier 14 Burial Chambers, and then I'm going to do a very easily rolled Eater of Worlds because, yeah, like I said, this is like fresh into the character. A lot of my gear is scuffed and poorly put together. Like, this is an item level 60 gloves. This jewel doesn't have any damage. It's just there with some avoid bleed, basically. Some of my gear is pretty good, but a lot of it is kind of scuffed. And my jewels are very scuffed as well, but I'm gonna do one more update tomorrow on this build before I go back to my Frostblade's Trickster, which is my true love. I am liking this character, but I really love my Frostblade's Trickster, so I want to go back to that. But yeah, as you can see, damage is good. You just kind of lightning warp on into packs. I think I canceled it there, and you tap the button. And then for bosses or whatever, or when there's a lot of enemies, you might have to hold it down. And then, of course, I have a Curse on Hit setup, Elemental Weakness, Hex Touch, Orb of Storms. I also have Overcharge, but I don't think Overcharge does that much for me because I'm pretty sure my baseline Lightning Tendrils still do so much more damage that the extra, I guess, chance or whatever, there you go, the extra shock doesn't make a difference. I should probably at least have looked at the rolls of those, but yeah, I'm just gonna skip the league mechanics for now. I'm just gonna show the map so I can get into the Eater of Worlds and kind of show all the demos. I'll try to timestamp everything so you can look through both demos, the explanations, and then I'm gonna talk about in which context this combo is overpowered and which it isn't, because a lot of people made, you know, good points as far as there are certain ascendancies where basically, where is that? There he is. There are certain ascendancies that can easily overcome the obstacle of getting high or capped crit already type thing, and then they get to benefit on top of that from you know, having a bunch of other stats. Okay, Chaos Orbs from the final boss, count me in. I'm in. And I'll explain my defensive layers too, because it looks like I have a very low health pool, and I do plan on increasing that a lot of my next extra levels. Like, actually, I'm gonna get jewel slots for up through 92, but from like I might quit at around level 97 or something. Everything after that's gonna be life. So Don't worry about that. I'll get a bigger life pool. But right now, it's not been too big of an issue. You know, it's not like I'm deathless. I've been experimenting with in theory crafting with all sorts of things. I've probably died like close to 20 times. Let's see, deaths. Be funny if 15 times. Be funny if I died while checking my deaths. So it's not like I'm going deathless on this. Definitely have some. I've messed around with various different builds. I've run determination. I've run like different body armor setups. Yeah, I'm not going to do that either, but I am going to grab this because the fact that there's only one per map means these are precious, and I do love running those. Even though it would be far more beneficial. I can probably, I might die. Right now, I'm still kind of weak to elemental damage over time, and yep, it's the Esh ones, which are the lightning damage over time. Wait, no, this is cold damage over time. This is less bad because it's not going to shock me. The Esh, I've died a couple of times to the Esh breaches because they have like shocked ground lightning damage over time, which I'm still weak to. I am overcapped resist, but my lightning resist is my lowest, only 76. Yeah, and you can't really spell suppress lightning damage over time, and with a low base health pool that is also half reserved, and having petrified blood does nothing to really mitigate this. So let's see how quickly we can kill the boss. We just put the Orb of Storms. We were max. Oop, there's another invitation. I'll run that one later. Got an Alhazman, some Instilling Orbs, Chaos Orbs. Cool. A good haul. Alright, let's get out of here. There's more monsters, but yeah, that's good enough. I want to make sure, so we'll go ahead and fire up this Writhing Invitation and see how we do against, you know, very, very entry level, very low rolled Eater of Worlds. How we fare. Because yeah, I still need to level up my gems. There's a lot to do still. So, oh, this isn't the right one. This is gonna go poorly probably. I was hoping it was Eater of Worlds because I feel like I would have a better chance against that, but let's see if I can just face tank this guy though. I do have a bunch of reduced like chaos damage taken, so maybe I'll be fine. Maybe I can just sit on him. I probably shouldn't just sit on that though. Let my ES recharge, and then I'll let him pop back up. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, I haven't tried. When I was doing my Frostblade's Trickster, when I ran into this guy, I killed him so fast that I never got to actually try this. Apparently, they changed the. I can never tell which direction the flow is. By the way, it's really hard for me. So I'll just start warping around. I think it's going this way, but it's really hard to tell. Well, now it looks like it's flowing towards the bottom right, so... Oh, it is. Cool. Lightning Warp's not too bad for getting through this stuff. Let's go ahead and get back in here. Alright. Let him pop up on us. Okay, apparently he doesn't want to. I wish he would just come up. Get up here. Now I have to wait for my health to regen. God, I hate this guy. I don't know what determines whether or not he's going to pop up. There you go. Oh, irritating. This boss is the worst boss, really. That's why I didn't want to run him. I was hoping this was Eater of Worlds. I would rather fight the Eater of Worlds a million times than fight this guy once. Truly. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go through again. Okay, never mind. I forgot I have Culling Strike. Haha! Marlene's Fallacy. So yeah, that was a little slow. But, yeah. Like I said, we still have low-level gems, no quality on a lot of our gems. I'm not even sure I need Arcane Surge anymore. I can probably replace that with like Conk Effect or something that'll be a lot higher damage. Alright, so that was a character, kind of entry level, getting into early stuff going on there. So I guess what I'll do is I'll explain the interaction. So, Sandstorm Visage, if you didn't watch my other video, does a bunch of cool stuff. So first of all, the most important thing is the base critical strike chance of spells is the critical strike chance of your main hand weapon. Trypanon has a 100% chance base critical strike chance. That means the base crit chance of Phantasmal Lightning Tendrils goes from 6% to 100%, meaning as a baseline, you would need absolutely no more investment in crit in order to get 100% crit chance. However, since we have that, we're using Marylene's Fallacy, which has 40% less critical strike chance, which will drop us to 60% if we have no crit. But because percent increased critical strike chance scales off of your base, we'll be able to use very little to get it up. So yeah, I did the math in my other video, but basically what you need to overcome that less critical strike chance is at least 69 crit chance on the tree, which in this case I'm getting 15 here, 30 here, so that's 45, and then same thing, pressure points, so that gives us a total of 90, and then I have 110, which is quite a bit over. But what I'm going to do at some point is buy up some crit catalysts, and I'm going to put those on the Marylene's Fallacy. Now that'll increase the crit multi by just under 48. It'll probably be 47 because I don't have a perfectly rolled one, which is a lot of crit multi. That's like 3 good rolls on a jewel, honestly. But what that's also going to do, because it's also a crit mod, is make it 48% less critical strike chance. From that, in order to overcome that, you need at least, I think it was 94 or 98. I did the math earlier, but you need like 94 or 98% critical strike chance from the tree. So I'm kind of prepared for that ahead of time. Plus, we're not really losing anything by having things like pressure points, because this is literally just 5% more damage. And if you can take a node that just gives you 5% more damage, you take it. And I have 2 of them, so diminishing returns and all. But yeah, I have 2 jewels with magnifier and pressure points, which were relatively cheap. I think it was like 8 and 15 chaos for those 2. The rest of the jewels I self-crafted, which is why they're so scuffed. I self-crafted this area damage one. Here's an important thing to note. If you are doing an area build with this, you always get magnifier if you just use if you use your harvest juice and you click this critical modifier for 150 blue, you will get magnifier every time. So you can just keep clicking it until you get other good stuff. I got AoE and life, but I didn't get a second thing, and I'm probably not even going to allocate this point. And it was the same kind of method here. I got 3% area of effect, 2% fire or damage, and then some fire resist. I might pick up these extra ones. A little bit of extra AoE wouldn't be harmful, and like the flat life and everything. Dogs might start barking, so I apologize for that. But yeah, other than that, this is literally a template you can use for any raid or spellcaster with these 3 items. I'm just using Doppelganger's guys because it's a really good defense. I didn't have any physical mitigation, and this just gives me a lot of physical mitigation, and it's less damage taken from physical, not hits, physical and chaos damage taken. So these work against like bleeds and stuff too. It's good against damage over time, which is one of the reasons it's nice. But yeah, I have item level 60 gloves that I just found and crafted. I have actually these boots are really good, but I have some bleed avoid from these 2 things. I have 75% chance to avoid bleed. I hope to round that out at some point, possibly with I could get some of these points. But yeah, my next points are going to go into probably jewels, or I could do masteries, like I could get an extra 3% spell suppress. And also Revenge of the Hunted will be a priority at some point, just to have more life. So or I could get these smaller life ES hybrid, which might be more efficient, but also more ES. with all flasks up, which is most of the time, I have 84% chance to evade. That's because I am using the Watcher's Eye, which gives 8% chance to evade hits while affected by Grace. And also, I have 10% increased life recovery rate. This was 110C. This was 50 chaos. Like on day 3, I bought it on my other character. I think I bought it in one of my update videos for my Frostblade's Trickster. And I just moved this over. The only benefits I get are corrupted blood immunity, a little bit of reservation efficiency, 3% cast speed, and 13 crit multi. I have this jewel, this is probably my best jewel besides the corrupted blood, but this is probably my second best rare corrupted jewel and the best one for this particular build because it gives 33% crit multi and 14% lightning. Most of my rare jewels are scuffed. This one just gives 25% crit multi, so it's a 2-mod jewel. I do plan on improving these. This one gives 5% cast speed and 16 crit multi. So as you can see, the build is still scuffed out of its mind, but despite that, it's still quite powerful. So if you could like refine your gear, get everything set up, yeah, you can just kind of improve this. I also do have a timeless jewel, but it's really bad. It's not giving me anything notable. Resist there, totem placement speed, 1% regen, which I guess isn't entirely irrelevant, but that's literally 1% of our 27,000 or 2,700 is 27 regen per second that's giving us, which isn't a lot, especially considering vitality is giving us a decent amount. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. And I guess it adds in and multiplies. My current life regen per second is 163, by the way, which is more than 10% of reserved. And every time I get hit, I also regenerate 10% of max life per second, which is another like 270 multiplied by my regen rate. This gives armor, which does nothing for me, and this is the only really good mod on the whole timeless jewel. It's 5% physical damage taken from hits as fire. Ideally, I would have a jewel that, I mean, I'm only covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but ideally all of them would either be this or double damage. But yeah, I just need this for the strength. So you are going to need a timeless jewel for this, specifically a lethal pride. And you don't want to put it up here because you want to take ghost dance. So yeah, pretty setup. I'm taking crystal skin. I haven't yet taken the ignite of avoidance because I figured the amount we have plus the less duration of ignite from Soul of Aberrath are fine. People often ask about my pantheons. I almost always take Soul of Arakali and Soul of Aberrath because I play a lot of builds that are very susceptible to damage over time. I like playing high mitigation, high avoidance, but most of the mitigation available is hit mitigation, and avoidance doesn't help you against damage over time. So a majority of the characters I've played for quite a while are Soul of Arakali, Soul of Aberrath. So that hopefully clears that up. I'm taking the increased effect of non-damaging ailments when you inflict critical strikes. These large clusters can be crafted deterministically. You just take any item level 84 of whatever element you want to cast, and you use either the blue or red essence and use either attack or caster modifiers to craft them, because the only attack or caster modifiers that can roll on the elemental jewels like this are the attack and cast speed. And then you just roll until you get 3%, because it can roll 1, 2, or 3%, and then some other good modifier, in this case 35%, making each one of these worth 16 lightning damage, 4 cast speed, and 2 all attributes, which isn't bad. I should exalt slam that at some point. This one's a little worse. Well, I guess it's better in one aspect. I do have Overshock, which is a good chunk of damage and effective lightning ailments, a lot of it, which is very good for shocking better. Thunderstruck, though, I would never take because it's actively bad in this build. So yeah, that's pretty much the jewel setup, and everything else is basic bare bones. You take enough spell suppress to get capped. If you take this node, you don't need a lot on your tree. I think I needed a total of 14 more, so literally one tier 1 mod on boots would be enough, or gloves. One tier 1 mod on boots or gloves would be enough to cap you out if you take Inveterate, just for being a raider, which is really crazy. So that's one thing, I suppose. And then, yeah, you just get frenzy charges, life, and utility, like your aura stuff. I have both charisma and influence. And other than that, probably just gonna pick up a little bit more life. So, yeah. And then, oh, of course, these two socket jewel nodes. So I got one here and one here. So by the time I'm level 92, I'll have those 2 jewels. I'll try to put more crit multi on, more cast speed. Basically, all offenses from this build are just crit multi, attack speed, and lightning damage. We don't have to worry any crit chance at all. So we don't have to get any of these. If you don't have cluster jewels, though, we're already going past this, or if you only have one set of clusters, you can take this setup right here. Also, these 2 are both 12% crit multi. You could possibly take those, and maybe even high voltage early on. So if you don't have any cluster jewels, just take Doomcast and high voltage. They're right along the way. They don't change anything, and then just like add masteries and life until you do get your cluster jewels, basically. So you'll be tankier but lower damage, which is fine. So obviously this isn't solo self-found viable, really, unless you already have the items. You can use a different body armor, but you'll be really susceptible to physical damage, and you might have to try to find a way to work in determination if you do it that way. So I wouldn't recommend it. Or I guess you could run, a granite flask or something with increased armor. That might help as well. But overall, it's a pretty strong character. Lastly, I do have to talk about what makes this setup overpowered and what doesn't. So, let's say you're an Inquisitor or an Assassin, or even like any witch class. You have, for very little point investment, very efficient crit nodes you can take all over around here. Like stuff you would just incidentally pass through, and that's worthwhile getting. Also, if you're like an Inquisitor or an Assassin, your Ascendancy provides you a bunch of free crit chance, basically. That kind of thing makes it so that this Sandstorm Visage isn't even necessary to get 100% crit chance. In fact, and definitely not Trypanon. But one of the things you could do, like if you're Inquisitor, you could still run Sandstorm Visage, but instead you could use a Prophecy Wand, which has 8% base crit and can roll with a max roll over 11%. If you're using, say, Spark, if you're doing a Spark Inquisitor, it'll go from base 6% crit to base 11, making it almost twice as easy. And then let's say you have like 5 power charges and 200 int or strength. That's 400% increased crit chance off of base 11. That's going to be 55% crit chance without any investment on the tree so far. So like that kind of stuff can be really, unnecessary to go this route. However, if you want to play a raider, to do a crit based spell, you have to go all the way up, path up, and then take a lot of nodes to get crit, like a lot. The amount, if you don't have any way to cheese the baseline crit chance of a spell, or to get extra crit chance from your Ascendancy, the amount to get a respectable amount of crit chance, the investment is very, very high. And even if you invest a lot, you're probably not going to get much more over 50%. And that makes all your crit multi half as effective. Let's say you have 800% crit multi, but you only have a 50% crit chance. Instead of being an 800% more multiplier, it's effectively a 400% more multiplier. Actually, yeah, I don't think, is this plus or just percent? I think it's actually less than that. So I think it would be a 750 compared, or a 350% multi compared to 700, because it's a base 100% or whatever, or 150%. But regardless, based or off the base damage, It's half as effective. That's my point. It doesn't matter. I could work out the math, but it just doesn't matter. Irrelevant to my point. So yeah, having 50% crit chance, even if you have an insane amount of crit multi, it's half as effective as it would be in this case. In this case, I benefit from every single point of crit multi adding on to that multiplier. And because the numbers are so large for crit multi, they don't suffer from diminishing returns as quickly as other things, especially considering they're so widely available. Like, you can legitimately get like over 50 crit multi very easily on jewels. Like, just from 2 nodes here, I have 33%. And then I could get another 18% and then a like 12% or something. Or maybe you can get 2 15s and 2 18s for spell lightning area damage. I'm not really sure, but possibly I could get up to 66% crit multi on 1 jewel. That is a lot, considering it's a multiplier and we're always guaranteeing to hit. So yeah, crit multi suffers a lot less from the diminishing returns other more multipliers tend to have, and we can easily stack it with other more multipliers on top of that. So really big stuff there. And yeah, another, like, if you wanted to do like a spell casting Slayer, which is even farther away, or Champion, or if you wanted to do like Berserker, or probably not Berserker, but one of the other 2 Marauder ascendancies. Berserker is so specialized into attack, you could technically do it, but I don't really see a point. But if you wanted to do Juggernaut or Chieftain, like, you could do an Armageddon brand Chieftain, have 100% crit chance, it'd be really, really strong. Similar to Raider, Juggernaut has very few hoops to jump through defensively, because he gets basically free stun and freeze immunity via immovable, and also gets like that double body armor thing that lets his armor mitigate a percentage of elemental damage. So similar to Raider, Juggernaut also doesn't have a lot of hoops to jump through. So Juggernaut would be another prime example where this would be overpowered, because defensively you don't have to jump through a lot of hoops, and because you are so far away from so much crit chance being in this part of the tree, this makes it overpowered for Juggernaut as well. So like Juggernaut, maybe Slayer, I don't know, like maybe Champion, maybe even Gladiator, although like probably not Gladiator, and then like Raider, maybe Pathfinder, maybe Deadeye. Actually, yeah, any of the Ranger classes, really, when you think about it, are all very overpowered with this setup. So that's kind of the point I wanted to make. When I said it was overpowered, I mean it opens up the ability to make really insane spellcasters in parts of the tree that would have been insanely difficult, required mirror gear before. Like right now, and maybe even then it wouldn't be as powerful as you can get with this, because of just the added accessibility. Usually you have to give up some stuff to, get stuff in Path of Exile, and the amount you're giving up here, like, this is a good helmet, this is a good amulet, this has huge amounts of crit multi and culling strike, and it has like stats as well. It has like evasion and intelligence. You're not giving up that much with this. You're not giving up that much as this. You are giving up a wand and shield, I'll give you that. But I mean, other than that, the opportunity cost for specifically the lower part of the tree overcomes any benefit you would gain by a large margin. So that's pretty much everything that I had to say about it. I'm going to play this character one more day, kind of try to min-max, get some better jewels, get some more levels, really kind of push it a little bit, add more defensives, because I'm not super happy with the defenses yet. And yeah, this has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.